Welcome to this episode of Ageless Woman Cooking. Robin and I have a fun twist on our chocolate recipe because we are nutty for chocolate today.
We just can't get enough chocolate, so we are bringing you a new and improved nutty version of our chocolate truffles.
And the thing is, if you're going to eat chocolate, and we all enjoy it, why not feed your brain at the same time? So again, key ingredient is the coconut oil, which your brain feeds on so well. It's great for your metabolism. It's the kind of fat you actually want to intentionally put in your diet every day.
Yep.
It's so good for you. So let's start with the fat ingredient.
This is a cup of coconut oil. Deanna's already, hers is always at room temperature. She never needs to even put it in hot water, it seems like in the summertime. So we're adding 1 cup. These are half cup measurements.
Again, if yours is solid, put it in the water and it'll be liquid like this. And then our little trick that we do, because honey is always our form of sweetener, we're going to do a half a cup of raw, pure, local honey in this case, which is even better because of the potential for people who have allergies and so forth. It really helps you. Watch this. It just slips right out so much easier when you just use the same measuring cup for the oil and then the honey. Voila. There we go. There's our sweetener. There's our fat. And now we are ready to add, we're going to do one more liquid.
We would add our salt, but we already put the salt in the nuts.
Yep, so we'll tell you about that. But a teaspoon of
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons of vanilla. She's memorized the recipe. I'm just following directions.
And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt that you could mix to this mixture to mix it through. Our nuts have a lot of salt in them too, so this is going to be a salty and a sweet mixture. Well, I was going to stop you because I was going to say add the coconut, but we're adding the nuts.
Well, and the nuts, we just use mixed nuts. I have mixed nuts from Costco, and we just chopped up a nice variety, pulled out the Brazil nuts, but I just sprinkled the sea salt right on top, so I'll kind of mix those in. So we're using, in this recipe, half as much of the unsweetened coconut flakes because we're replacing nuts instead. Any nut you like, but we like the idea of them being roasted. You certainly could do raw. And now sprinkling in the coconut flakes that give it a nice texture, absorb some of the healthy fat that we're making the basis of this. And then, of course, the key ingredient.
And you know what, when you do this, your oil is going to somewhat stay separated. It's never going to completely absorb with the coconut and the nuts until you start adding in your, chocolate.
So I just want to show them a little closer. Since we only have one camera, we have to kind of bring it to you. And see how the oil's... Did you see that?
Oh my goodness.
We will just be adding a couple tablespoons of coconut oil here.
How much do you think we
Not
got?
very much.
Okay.
Not very much. So Robin, you make good. You know, you always know we're real, raw, and unscripted anymore. Okay, how much chocolate?
Okay, so it's 3/4 to 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup. And this you just have to kind of see as you're adding. We're adding a half a cup first. You know what, I really want a fork to kind of start blending this together.
So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit as you go. Now, I am using of course, unsweetened organic cocoa powder. This one is from a local health food store, Sprouts, here in California. And it actually is a little lower in calories than some. For a tablespoon, it's only 10 calories. So that's not where your calories come. Your calories come in the fat. So don't pretend and think because it's healthy, it's not going to have calories. You're still going to have about 150 calories an ounce. However, quality is the key. And if you just want to have one piece, maybe a little less than an ounce, 100-calorie piece of chocolate every day, this is going to be great for you. Remember, chocolate has a little caffeine in it, so you don't want to have that too late in the day. This is getting super dark.
It's really dark, and it starts to get like a brownie mix, and you need to stir it quite well to start
without spilling.
Without spilling.
Okay. See how it's still kind of loose. We're probably going to add another close to half a cup. Because I know last time with our recipe we did use a full cup of chocolate. So we're going to start absorbing that oil to the point that it's no longer runny.
Yeah, you want it kind of pourable but thick, right?
Yes. And what's great is this just, because coconut oil sets up so fast. If it's under 2 degrees, it sets up as a solid immediately. So you don't even have to put this in your freezer. We sometimes put it in the freezer just to get it quickly hardened. And then if you choose, you can roll it into little balls and then roll it into a little bit of cocoa powder. That's one way. We tend to put it in a glass dish and just cut it up later, and it works great. I had our last recipe that we just did the coconut flakes. Oh my gosh, I probably had it for 3 weeks in my fridge and just had a piece. I usually had about a piece a day.
I'm getting a hand cramp.
Okay, let me take over. Okay, full disclosure, as usual, we are testing our new modified recipe on camera. Yeah, so we've decided because the nuts will not absorb as much of the oil as, of course, the coconut flakes will, we're going to add another 1/4 cup of coconut flakes because we still have a little bit more oil to absorb than we'd like. So here's the 1/4 cup. So again, we added a half at the beginning. Here's a 1/4, and we're going to see if this is enough. If it still feels a teeny bit runny, we're going to add just a teeny bit more. But guess what? I think you're going to get the final recipe in the show notes with what we end up with. This is so much better. Now it's starting.
I think that's the perfect amount.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was 3/4.
3/4 of a cup of coconut.
Let me show them what this looks like when
coconut.
It's beautifully set up. It's looking like a chocolate frosting kind of. You can see there's a teeny bit of looseness, but I think that's gonna just,
it'll just set up.
Mm-hmm. So next step is right into the pan. Oh, that's some mean chocolate. Okay, I'm just gonna spread this around a little bit, Robin, so that some of those little areas that look like they don't have quite as much of the coconut and the nuts is spread about. We're gonna pop this into the fridge for what, maybe 10 minutes, and we'll be back and cut it up and taste it. Hey, we have a little plate full of our delicious nutty chocolates, and they are delicious, so let's have a bite. Super.
We've actually already been tasting as she was cutting them, but I will have another taste. And look at those nuts in the bottom.
I prefer chocolate with nuts.
Crunchy.
Mm-hmm. These are really rich. Trust me, a piece like this isn't even a full ounce. It will totally satisfy you. We're having a little bit of our afternoon coffee because to me, coffee and chocolate, oh my gosh. Enjoy the energy, the healthy energy. I'm recording, that is so dangerous. You know I'm the editor.
You would not do that. You would not.
No, I won't.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, Robin. I was going to try and get you.